At the height of his career, Fraser seemed unstoppable. He was funny, handsome, and charming. He had an aura that audiences couldn't get enough of. Unfortunately, at the peak of his career, Brendan Fraser went through an unbelievable amount of trauma that forced him to turn his back on his newfound celebrity status. So much trauma, in fact, that instead of telling the world, he kept it bottled up.
And the Oscar goes to Brendan Fraser.
There was a facility that I didn't appreciate at the time until it stopped.
Felt like we've had our nose pressed up against the glass, and we wanted to be a part of what was on the inside, and there was something keeping us out.
I need to know that I have done one thing right with my life.
Brendan Fraser was born on December 3rd, 1968 in Indianapolis, Indiana. Fraser's family moved often during his childhood, living in the United States, Canada, Switzerland, and the Netherlands. He attended Upper Canada College, a private boarding school in Toronto. While on vacation in London, he attended his first professional theater show, which began his interest in acting. Fraser became a dedicated actor immediately after. He went on to college to study acting at Seattle's Cornish College of the Arts. Fraser was very active in his early career, making a small cameo in Dogfight, and was an intern with Intimate Theater, having appeared in Ellensburg's summer stock in Romeo and Juliet. 2 years later, the 23-year-old Fraser is the star of a series of high-profile movies, including School Ties. His first lead role, playing a frozen caveman in Encino Man, was actually filmed prior to School Ties but was released before. His first breakthrough role happened in 1997 with the comedy hit George of the Jungle. Brendan Fraser met Afton Smith at a barbecue at Winona Ryder's house in 1993. It was love at first sight, and the two married in September of 1998. The next year, Brendan Fraser would go on to tackle his biggest role to date, Rick O'Connell in The Mummy. The movie itself had great critical response and was a box office hit, instantly sending Fraser into superstardom. In 2002, Fraser and his wife Afton Smith had their first child, Griffin Arthur Fraser. The man was on top of the world, had everything, and seemed unstoppable. However, injuries and many other terrible events would soon plague the actor's career. Playing in action movies took a serious toll on Fraser, but the actor was dedicated to his craft. He would go above and beyond for his career. Unfortunately, Fraser's injuries on set started in his very first movie, Dogfight. In it, the actor said that he was paid $50 extra to be thrown into a pinball machine, which ultimately led to a bruised rib. It was on the set of The Mummy that the actor suffered the most serious injuries. The actor had hundreds of contusions, a partial knee replacement, and his vocal cords needed to be repaired, among many surgeries. Fraser also had to do a laminectomy, an operation removing vertebrae to relieve pressure on the spinal cord. The actor unfortunately had to redo the surgery a year later because it didn't work the first time. Fraser had multiple visits to the hospital due to his injuries for nearly 7 years. The multiple injuries that hindered his work would be enough for someone to grow tired and move away from the spotlight. That's not all. Fraser accused Philip Burke of groping him at an event in 2003. Fraser became severely depressed by this and said in an interview with GQ, "Am I still frightened? Absolutely. Do I feel like I need to say something? Absolutely. Have I wanted to many times? Absolutely. Have I stopped myself? Absolutely." His left hand reaches around, grabs my and one of his fingers touches me in the and he starts moving it around. He later went on to talk about his experience on coming forward with the allegations.
Maybe someone will feel the inspiration that I felt to come forward and say what I had to. But it took people far more courageous than I was ever considering attempting to be, who stood together, spoke their truth, and inspired me to do the same.
Philip Burke, ex-president of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, aka the people who own the Golden Globes, admitted to pinching Fraser's buttock at the event in question, but said in his interview with GQ he did so in jest. Burke also said in an interview with CNN the charge of sexual innuendo is a total fabrication and a desperate attempt by Fraser to resuscitate his career. After accusing Philip Burke about this, Brendan Fraser was blacklisted for more than a decade. A year after Fraser and his wife, Afton Smith, gave birth to their third child, she filed for divorce. Neither will disclose what ended their marriage, but many fans speculate that Afton never really loved him and only used him for his money. In its support, this crisis arose just after the couple bore their third child and Fraser locked down a role on G.I. Joe, a film raking in more than $302 million. The court settled the divorce, awarding Afton with spousal/child support of $900,000 annually. In 2013, Fraser was accused of not paying child support by his ex-wife because he could no longer pay the agreed $900,000 as he didn't have the money. No one was hiring the actor. Brendan Fraser continued acting but didn't receive mainstream attention and landed only flop roles. In 2016, Fraser began to gain some traction with his role in The Affair. He was scheduled to do his first interview in years. In his interviews, he seemed sad and only spoke in a whisper. He became a meme online, a sad one. The internet was shocked to see the once lovable actor now a wreck. Fraser said in a later interview, "I buried my mom. I think I was in mourning and I didn't know what that meant." His mom had died only a couple days before his interview. In his absence from the spotlight, 2 of his franchises in which he starred in were rebooted and recast without him. His most famous role as Rick O'Connell in The Mummy was recast with Tom Cruise, which was a box office flop, not only in terms of box office emissions, but critical review and fan support. Many fans were outraged by not casting Brendan Fraser in his role. In 2012, Journey to the Center of the Earth 2 was released, but without the mentor of the film being played by Brendan Fraser, but instead by Dwayne Johnson. It's no wonder why Brendan Fraser disappeared. That's why it's so surprising and exciting that the actor, through all these difficulties, persevered and is now back on track. He began gaining traction with his amazing performance in the TV show The Affair, and even more so with his solid role as Robot Man in Doom Patrol. The 53-year-old actor hadn't played the lead in a major movie in 12 years, a gap on his resume that has been attributed to a mixture of personal issues, health problems, and a bombshell assault allegation against the former head of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. Then, Darren Aronofsky came calling. After spending a decade trying to bring Samuel D. Hunter's play The Whale to the screen and meeting with nearly every actor of a certain age in Hollywood, Aronofsky feared he would never be able to find his Charlie. At times, he grew defeated, enlisting filmmakers like George Clooney, Tom Ford, and Janska Bravo to take over. It was only after he happened to see a trailer for a low-budget Brazilian movie Fraser appeared in that Aronofsky had the idea of casting the actor. There was a haunted, vulnerable quality to the man that the director thought would be perfect. With The Whale, Aronofsky found a performer in Fraser who was eager to push himself physically and emotionally. After sitting on the sidelines for years, Fraser was primed to remind Hollywood what had been missing. On the festival circuit, audiences had flipped for The Whale, showering Fraser with a boisterous 6-minute standing ovation at the Venice Film Festival, and then nearly exceeding that in Toronto, where organizers had to shush the crowd in order to begin a post-screening Q&A. Video of Fraser tearing up at the Venice Film Festival went viral on X and TikTok. Fraser rode this hype wave all the way to the Golden Globes, where, well...
And the Oscar goes to... Brendan Fraser.
This really lit the fuse to his career, sending him to the stars once again. He had the pleasure of acting in Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon, acting alongside Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro. Many other important roles are being filled by this talented actor, including his upcoming role as Dwight D. Eisenhower in a doomsday biopic. From film enthusiasts to fellow actors and celebrities, it seems that everyone wants the same comeback story that Travolta saw in 1994 with Pulp Fiction. Hopefully, the next upcoming years are good for Fraser, and we will get to see this beloved actor where he belongs, on the big screen. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video and want to see more, hit that subscribe button and leave a like and comment who you'd like to see covered next. In the meantime, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.